All right, here we go. We're gonna tie this little summer intruder for trout or steelhead. 50D. We're starting out with 50D. Vivus. If you notice, in pretty much all of our videos, probably, I don't get crazy about going up and down the shank, or the tube in this case, with my thread. I don't believe it matters one bit. Anything that's under the body, and especially with this 50D, it's so thin, doesn't matter. Little hot spot in the back, tri-lobal red. All I'm gonna do is pull this apart like twice or 3 times and kind of just get things kind of lined up a little bit there, and throw it in there. Throw it in my loop that I've made. Spin it up. Ooh, that's a healthy hot spot right there. Probably a little bigger than what I'd generally do, but that's okay. You can see it on camera that way. That's my excuse. So, this fly for me personally is going to act as kind of a smaller intruder for the Deschutes, namingly. And I like to just fish a 5-weight in there with something like this, because then if you get a trout as well, it's still super fun, because these trout will hammer this color combination. Alright, golden pheasant in dyed black. That makes sense. I'm going to tie it in by the tip. Down the tube, back up the tube, here we go. Palmer it back. This is going to act as my prop. You could tie in fox here if you wanted, but really my point of this fly was to make it just ridiculously easy to cast. So, this golden pheasant is a part of that game. Oop. One wrap right after the other, and then tie it off. It's going to be a really dense, fast sinking pattern. That's the idea here. Get it down behind the boulder and let them eat it. Okay, I've got a couple little tufts of ostrich, kind of halfway pre-done. Now that's in my hand, I'm discovering that they're kind of uneven, but MFC ostrich in olive. I know it's an ugly color, I understand. You steelheaders out there have not been believers in this. Tried to sell you on this combo. Come in the shop and you say, what's a great color combination? And I talk about this one almost every time, and I say the same thing. It's ugly, but it works. I just really believe that, and I think anybody that's been around long enough knows this, but steelhead absolutely despise sculpin. So, you know, while this isn't necessarily a sculpin pattern, it's definitely got the coloration going. And they despise sculpin. They just do. So I'm putting it on each side, these little tufts of probably 7 or 8 strands of ostrich, MFC ostrich, which is available on the old watershedflyshop.com. This is actually the this is the third attempt at this video. I think we're gonna get it this time. I mean, we've definitely tied the fly. It's just been kind of an interruption game, and it's happening. It's happening today. Okay, mini fly flat braid. God's gift to bodies for steelhead flies. It's not super fancy stuff, but man, it's durable and gets the job done. Alright, tie that in real good. First wrap's the most important wrap. Boom. One right after the other. You notice back here, this is a big thing with me. It's a tiny bit bigger back there, but man, you look at some of these modern steelhead flies, because guys are using pretty thick thread anymore. You know, they're using 210 denier and, you know, 6/0 uni and things of that nature that just have real thick thread. That back section just gets really big back there, and 50D allows me to have a nice little, a real small taper. Okay, Dr. Slick tungsten scissors. I've been impressed so far. They've been good. We'll see how long they last, but man, they've been good to me. Okay, again, the idea of this fly is to not be real big, so I have to be disciplined about that. Loop, I'm going to throw some Fox from Pro Sport Fisher in. I've got some sort of kind of prepped Fox. And see how this works. You can kind of work it out with a bodkin or your scissors, whatever. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but I'm just kind of spreading these fibers out here, and pretty good. I don't need the butt section to be real big. When I do this, I hold right by the Fox, and then I'm just going to kind of let her go. There's a lot of guard hairs in this particular little bundle of Fox that I've collected, and that's fine, but you wanna mix the guard hairs in with some fluff. Otherwise, they just get really kind of stiff and hard to work with. They pull out easier. I've been tying a lot of traditional flies, or just shank flies rather, and so I haven't been spinning Fox much, and spinning anything for that matter, and I can tell I'm a little rusty. But we're getting to that season where I'm gonna tie up a bunch of stuff like this for the fall and the winter. I better get good real quick. So there's my prop for my ostrich. MFC ostrich in black and olive is what I'm going to use. Do another dubbing loop. Got a nice little mix of black and olive. I kind of like the contrast of light to dark, so that's why I've got, you know, kind of lighter stuff back here. And I'm gonna put in my loop my ostrich. The majority of the olive is up top, so it'll go on first. It'll wrap first, and then the black. This is just being picky, by the way. You certainly don't have to do this. Do it however you want. But put it in your loop so that the black will go on. So I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I'm cutting my ostrich a little bit closer to the loop. You really need a pair of very sharp scissors in order to do that, because otherwise the ostrich will move all over the freaking place and it gets really irritating really fast. And this is a difficult thing as it is. Just moving this ostrich kind of up and down the loop, get it spread out to where it's not going to get caught up on itself too bad. It's pretty good, honestly. In this case, I'm just using my scissors. A bodkin works really well right here. Key is to keep your loop really level. And I am going to grab, and I just pinch it until I feel a lot of tension, and then I'm going to move my fox out of the way because that can be very irritating, and then I'm going to kind of let it go a little bit, let that bad boy spin, and then I'm going to grab my fox, move it out of the way, spin it some more. That is in there tight, guarantee you that. Wrap it once, move anything that I need to move. Some of your ostrich will point in will kind of have a little bit of curve to it. So curve it so that it's, man, I wish I knew anything about science. Concave or convex? Anyways, curve it so that the curvature is going down, so that it's kind of curving downward, and it'll end up looking a lot better. That is getting very picky, but let's be honest, I'm kind of a picky guy in nothing but fly tying. I'm gonna cut a little bit off again, getting picky, I'm gonna make sure that the kind of the tag end of these ostrich barbules are cut pretty short. They're in the loop really well. You could also very easily wax your loop. It wouldn't be the worst idea. Wouldn't be the worst idea at all. Okay. I'm gonna come in here and I'm just gonna cut a little bit more off of here. Again, the entire point of this is not to throw on a pile of material. I think that might even be a little much on the ostrich there, but you could always just rip some out. Wouldn't be the worst thing. This is very light ostrich. It's thin. So if it were the thicker stuff, I'd certainly do less. I'd probably pull some out if I had that much of the thicker stuff on there. And that's just a personal choice. Whatever you like. Yeah, I'm digging that though. That's gonna look incredible, absolutely incredible on the water. This is OPST saddle. Okay, I'm gonna put it under some material. See if I can't get these things to set right. It's always a challenge. Yeah, see, that didn't quite set the way I wanted it, so I'm gonna do it over and, oh, okay, that's good. Got little pieces of stem that I'm gonna bring around, tie right back over the top. These saddle do like to pop out, and so that happens. Dumbbell eye. This is just a large brass eye. Now that I'm thinking of it, it may be a lead eye from hairline. I know it's a hairline eye one way or the other. You could do whatever you want here. You could even put a red one on there or whatever. Silver. Notice I've got a decent amount of tube left here, and I'm just going to cut that off. Again, it's not the idea of this fly to be large. I want it to have a decent profile, which it will, because we, kind of got two props in there. I want it to stand up just a little bit, but just figure eight it until you're happy. Go wrap over the top on both sides. I'm happy. Okay, time for flash. I see my Flashaboo has fallen. Okay, so I've got two different kinds of flash here. I've got holographic flash. I don't know if you can see that. Holographic flash, and then just standard Flashaboo. Both, the hollow is, I believe the hollow would probably be considered brown, but it looks copper, and that's kind of the idea here. And then copper Flashaboo, which is deadly. It's actually illegal in Washington. Like, it's so good that they don't allow those guys up there to use it, so sorry. And Atlantic salmon guys are also not allowed to use copper Flashaboo. Just to let you know. So if you have a problem with that, take that up with the state of Washington and anybody who fishes for Atlantic salmon. Of course, anybody who fishes for Atlantic salmon is never going to use copper Flashaboo, but I don't know why. Guarantee it'd work. Oh man, I'm looking at my hackle here. It's not great. Okay, well, I'm overall happy. And then last thing is just to throw I'm going to throw a saddle feather because there's a bunch of these saddle feathers that are really kind of schloppeny. And that's what I'm going to do. They're a little bit shorter than schloppen. That's what I like about them. And I'm not trying to make this a large fly, a large finished feather by any means. Just tie it in by the tip. Tie that in really good and tight. That's about all you need. Probably 3 or 4 reps would be my guess. Here we go. Alright, get that guy off of there. I'll show you how we finish the tube as soon as I'm very happy. So these feathers, these finished feathers, whether it be schloppen or saddle, do tend to move around and pop out occasionally. So don't be afraid to use a pile of glue. I'm gonna go ahead and finish it real quick. Okay. The nice thing about these tungsten scissors is that they actually cut that thread, which is difficult if you've ever used 50D. Just gonna cut it relatively short, quickly burn it with my low end lighter. Throw it back on there, just kind of spread out that mushroom a little bit. And then I'm going to throw it back on there. And I will be using a Pro Sport Fisher hook guide. This is Pro Sport Fisher. This is the whole Pro Sport Fisher setup. Just a classic needle. Throw on some flow real quick. Just get everything kind of shiny and get everything kind of sealed down at the same time. Flow does a decent job of that. It's not its primary purpose, but gotta use it. I think I need some new batteries in this bad boy. It's pretty weak. Come on, baby. Burn it. Alright, so this is, you know, it's a small intruder. I'm not going to call it a mini, but it's small, and it's been really effective. It's been a really effective fly. I wouldn't be afraid to throw this, like I said, for trout, just for reference, I guess. You know, it's that big. So it's probably not quite 3 inches long. Great fly. I would highly recommend it. I don't honestly think this is like our own fly here at Watershed Fly Shop, but you can buy the materials at watershedflyshop.com. Thanks for listening, and I hope you tie several of these and catch a pile of trout and steelhead.